Hey there, Max here, and today we're going to be watching a Mujin video! This one literally just popped up a few moments ago on my side, so I was like, you know what, this is a great time to get right on in, I think. So, this is going to be about how an aspiring streamer ruined her life over a skill issue. Peach XO versus Nessie Does. Well, if there's one thing that I know about streaming and streamers, it's very common that they can definitely take things out a little overly excessive every now and then. That being said, even then, you can go to certain levels even above that can get a little worrisome. And I'm beginning to wonder at what kind of level this is going to be dealing with if it's so-called ruined her life of all things. So I'm very curious how this one's going to go. Let's go ahead and get this started here. I'll leave a link to the original in the description. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. If there's anything else that you'd like me to react towards, please leave it in the comments. And please do subscribe to help build up my community and follow along more in the future. Mujin, take it away, my man.
Violently slam your desk, maybe even annihilate your controller out of rage? What would you do if you lost in a video game? Would you
I just queue up for the next round.
scream, violently slam your desk, maybe even annihilate your controller out of rage? Well,
I never quite understood why people do that. It only makes things even worse, because now, one, you're out of being able to play the game, or you've caused damage to your property, so now you gotta pay extra money to get that fixed, and your whole day is completely ruined, maybe even a week, depending how long it takes for you to get things replaced or fixed. It's just not worth getting that upset about things. It's one thing to get tilted and maybe upset, but just go away for a while. It's all just a game.
no matter what you end up doing, all of these things are incredibly reasonable compared to what one streamer decided to do. You see, she got so triggered over dying in a video game live
Those eyes are looking right into my soul, and they're judging me.
on stream that she went
They know what I've done.
out of her way to contact a friend of hers who just so happens to work at the game studio itself in order to wrongfully ban the streamer who killed her for an entire month.
Holy crap, it's literally I have an uncle that works at Nintendo meme. What the crap?
Without any proof, all while making it a point to tarnish his reputation to their mutual friends. But wait, it gets even worse, because in parallel to all this, she would proceed to dox his personal information, like full name and address, so that she could eventually send the police after him.
Okay, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10 on levels of crash out, this lady's at an 11. Holy crap, you called yourself a friend to any of these people? What the heck did you, what? No, this is right up there. This is getting dangerously close to the level of 15, where people will actually either swap or go to people's houses to actually confront them about getting their butts kicked in games. No, just don't do that. What the heck, man?
Guys, I wish I was exaggerating here, but this all actually happened because a streamer simply died in a video game. And the best part is that much of this happened live on stream, where you can see the streamer in question lose her mind in real time while tilting harder than the Titanic.
Oh no, that's not good. I'm sure at that exact moment it made for some great streaming clips, but I'm pretty sure you regretted it right quick. Well, maybe not right quick, but eventually they probably regretted it.
You simply don't see this every day, especially not when the game studio itself is somehow involved too. That's why I figured we had to talk about it. So without further ado, let's do this. Alright, so to truly understand the severity of the situation, we have to talk about extraction shooters, a game genre that was pioneered by the game Escape from Tarkov.
I've honestly never been too much of a fan of extraction shooters, like Escape from Tarkov, Ark Raiders, Hunt Showdown. I mean, for a moment they seem like they're pretty fun, but then you die and you lose everything and resets everything over together, or you have to organize your... It's like... it's just not my kind of cup of tea, but I get the games and I can get the appeal for others.
The objective was simple. You
Especially if you love the PvP.
got dropped on a map with other players and your goals were to all loot as much gear as you possibly can. The main challenge though was that in order to successfully loot things you had to extract, and if you died, you lost everything, even the gear
Ooh, that That's also another big thing. I'm a big hoarder when it comes to in-game inventory. To think that I could go out with something super high valued and pricing, and then suddenly I just walk right out, ding, and I'm dead, and I just lost all that hard work I put. It is a nightmare for me. So I will always take the lowest level crap. I never take any of the good stuff. I will never do that. So it's just not my game style.
You brought in with you. Other players had the same goal, and you had proximity voice chat. This meant that this game was perfect to extract the worst traits imaginable in a human being, which are greed and lies. And in that sense, it wasn't too different from survival games such as DayZ. The appeal was
I remember ZZ. That was a different kind of time.
simple. When you had a lot of valuable loot and you came across other players, how would you deal with it? Would you lie to them and then shoot them in the back of the head, or would you fight them and risk losing everything? Regardless of what you chose, it would make you react and act in ways that you never thought were possible. Because at the end of the day, that's why people played these games, to feel a rush of adrenaline that you only feel when your life is in danger. So it came as no surprise that the pioneer of this genre, Escape from Tarkov, would make a lot of money. The game would start in closed beta in 2017 and then would finally release in 2025.
And then every other game studio wants to have their own extraction shooter, to the point that it's getting a little oversaturated.
Within a month on Steam, it sold 1 million copies, and that's knowing that many people had already bought it in closed beta. This also meant that it single-handedly dominated the entire genre. There were no real competitors here. This is why when Arc Raiders was announced, people got very excited over the idea of a fresh game in the genre. What really helped this game as well were the content creators and insiders that played the game early and had nothing but good things to say about it.
Bart Peanut comes to mind.
And while yes, it was incredibly hyped for a long time, and some people expected disappointment because of that, they ended up getting the absolute opposite. When the game came out on the 30th of October 2025, it was met with incredible success that no one could have ever expected. It managed to take Escape from Tarkov's formula and make it even more interesting. Other players were still a threat, but the concern of them killing you was way lower than the concern of getting killed by the very dangerous and smart enemies that are around the world. This would force you to drop.
I think that is probably what makes Arc Raiders a bit more different. Like, the whole world is dangerous, and you have I wouldn't say you have a more of an incentive to watch others back, but you have more an incentive not to start a fight, because your fights will draw the bad guys. And if you draw the bad guys, well, you might win a PvP fight, but now you suddenly got a bunch of robots tagging in on your butt, and just a few stray shots would be enough to down you, and boom, you're done.
Whatever hostilities you might have against another player and work together because they're just that dangerous. And speaking of other players, the most arguable change that this game made to the genre was an aggression-based MMR, an aggression-based ranking system. If you like to kill a lot of other players, you were usually matched with other players with the same mentality, but if you never killed a player and weren't aggressive, you were matched with non-aggressive players who wanted to work together.
I wonder if that means if you end up going into the rounds and things, and you get put into that queue, if you're bad enough that you get slaughtered a billion times, if you'll wind up in the peaceful queue another time again or something.
At the time of release, this wasn't really known to everyone. There were theories about it, but it definitely helped keep a huge chunk of their players from leaving. This is part of the reason as to why it was able to maintain such a large player base for over 6 months after release.
Man, that is a high, flat line for a good while. My goodness.
It was able to attract people who would have never considered playing extraction shooters. Like, for example, the streamer Nessie Does. He's someone who mostly streamed and made content around the game.
Okay, that's a very cute PFP. It's literally the Loch Ness Monster in a pirate hat. I love it.
Sea of Thieves, in which he trolled or messed around with people in the game that, in his opinion, deserve it. Like hackers, for example. He would start playing Arc Raiders with the same goal, to make content, to make videos out of it, in which he tricks or trolls other people, which happens in pretty much every multiplayer game in which you interact with other players. However, at some point during early March, and while playing Arc Raiders with a friend, he'd have the very unfortunate event of coming across the streamer Peach XO. And now I'm sure that some of you watching might be surprised here, thinking things like, wait, Mujin, this streamer has like 2,000 followers, 22 average viewers. What damage could she possibly do to
still more than me.
This bigger streamer called Nessie? Well, if you've tried to apply to a job recently in this terrible job market, you'd understand very quickly we don't live in a world of meritocracy anymore. It's all about nepotism, which means the people that you know. Take Twitch, for example, one of the worst platforms in existence. They'll ban you for anything, and you could be one of their top 0.1% streamers, you'll probably still have a hard time reaching a real human being there. But did you know that Twitch has something called...
If there's one thing that concerns me is the rise in AI customer support. It's just so bad. You cannot get through to anybody for just about anything for any platform.
The ambassador program, where they pick out streamers that represent the entire brand and get a special badge and contact with the staff. Yeah, well, not to call anyone out, but there's literally people out there with 1 viewer that are a Twitch ambassador. This
Makes me wonder how in the world you truly make it to that kind of a level.
means that these people have direct access to Twitch staff, while bigger streamers with thousands of viewers potentially don't. The point I'm making here is that you don't need a lot of viewership to have a lot of influence that could potentially cause a lot of damage to someone. And that's exactly where Peach XO falls into place here, while also weaponizing a high-ranking contact of hers that works at Embark Studios, the developer behind Ark Raiders. However, ironically, this would all eventually lead to her own total downfall.
Oh boy, this is gonna be crazy, isn't it?
Ark Raiders' matchmaking system is very straightforward. You can queue up as a solo player, as a duo with a friend, or as a trio with 2 friends. The game will always prioritize queuing up solos with other solos, duos with other duos, etc., etc. However, like most multiplayer games,
Dang, someone's got all the achievements in that? Man, I've always wished I could be like a real achievement hunter like that.
the server for Oceania are absolutely dead. So if you live in Australia or New Zealand, for example, yeah, it's going to take a long time to find a game. Even worse, if you queue up as a solo, you might encounter a duo. There simply aren't enough players to be able to match them to people queuing up just like them. The reason why I'm telling you this is because it's integral to what would happen next, because around the first week of March, Peach XO would queue a solo game and encounter Nessie, which led to the event that permanently altered both of their lives. Watch for yourself.
Hello.
Yo, 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 yo! Oh my god, perfect. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, this is like really weird, but my friend is like completely stuck, and I want someone to knock him so I can like res him, and hopefully that knocks him out of the spot. He's literally just got completely stuck in this room.
Wait, point of view reenactment? Oh, so it's not Nessie's view. So I guess there's like another kind of reactment kind of that was done elsewhere.
How is he your friend?
Oh, are you solo? I'm in a duo game. I duo queued with him,
Wait, what?
so I can't. But yeah, if you're solo, I'm duo. I can't knock him. He's like in here under these steps right here.
Why does this feel like a scheme?
Oh, these full traps there.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a defib, so I'll do it. Hey.
Well, oh, man, all the red flags were there. I wouldn't have gone. The moment you turned into that room, I'm like, yeah, you're screwed. And the moment I saw that barrier starting going up, yeah, that was not exactly a smart decision. You fell for a classic trap, a bait and trap. Although he was kind of telling the truth, that person did seem like they were stuck. So maybe as soon as they got in there, they were a little concerned. But honestly, I would have said no. I would have kept my distance away and got away from that. Personally, I don't trust people as far as I can throw them. Oh, that silence. That is the silence of seething anger. Ooh, I think I smell brimstone on the air.
Alright, so look, classic trap in games like this. If you've played any survival games like DayZ or anything that involves other players, yeah, you've probably been through this. It's not pleasant, okay? It's not a good time, but that's just the nature of these games. That's what you're signing up for. He told her his friend needed help, he trapped her in a room, and then killed her. She wasn't the first player he did this to, and she wasn't going to be the last.
Nope.
I even think many of you watching would have raged at this, right? It's stupid, but you would have moved on afterwards.
I mean, I probably would have gotten upset and said, oh man, that's BS, man. Ah, shoot. And then try to re-queue for the next round or whatever, but I also wouldn't be dumb enough to be coming in with anything important worth losing.
After raging a little bit, you would have just queued up the next game and started over. But of course, that's not what the streamer here, PeachXO, would do. She'd actually decide to take this out of the game by leaving an inappropriate comment on the Steam profile of one of those two players.
Oh boy.
What a fucking loser. What a fucking loser. Wow. I can smell the stank from here. Loser.
Makes me glad I play most of my multiplayer games on consoles where they can do this a little less and they don't go harassing you on Steam.
TY for the free content. Suck a fat one.
Next, after leaving a comment on the Steam profile of one of the two players, she decides to report Nessie in-game.
Oh,
And out
wow.
of all the different things she could have picked, for some reason she decides to go with scamming. Like, he scammed.
I mean, it's not exactly offering you anything. They just totally put you into a trap. You
Dude,
fell
it's
for
like-
it.
I don't even know what scamming would entail in a game like this.
She would not survive a month in EVE Online.
Liar. Got me killed.
Hey, that's just how it goes, man.
People like that make me hate the fucking game.
An hour
I mean, that's part of the point of the game.
after she had reported him in-game, Nessie would understand that he had just killed a streamer. And look, he has common sense. He understood that killing someone like this wasn't the most fun way to play this game. So he made it a point to go to her chat and say, hey, GG from before. This would be her reaction, and this would be their
No.
brief discussion.
Hello, GG, but from before. Hi, Nessie. Were you the person, like, in, we're looking for processors?
No.
No, you're one with the Stark friend. Ah, so you're the asshole from before. Right. Now, did you like the comment I left on the profile? So you're the asshole.
Oh dear.
Are you gonna be quiet now? You wanna be quiet now? Are we just where we're going with Dad? Everything you did required you being an asshole.
So look,
I mean, to be fair, it was a skunky move to do. You can't. She has every right to be at least a little upset at what you did there.
so far, I mean,
Although, so far, I think that at this moment and level, well, maybe not so much to go reporting everything all at once here because of that. It's so far, I'd say the rage meter's at a 6 out of 10. Well, maybe more of an 8 out of 10, but it's not gotten excessive yet.
he's been nothing but nice, right? He's trying to understand, like, hey, why am I an asshole? Like, I'm just saying GG, right? Like, it is what it is. That's just the game.
Now, problem is, sometimes when people say, hey, what did I do? Sometimes they can be playing off like they are even more of a bigger jerk, because they should know exactly what they did in some cases. I don't think that this is the case that they're looking for here. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Because, come on, you set up for a trap. You should know exactly what you did there, but yeah, it is what it is.
So then she makes it a point to focus on his Twitch profile, seeing when he last streamed, and for some reason, commenting on his partner verified badge.
When was the last time you even streamed, bro? Let's have a look.
Oh, boy.
Let's have a look. It's just I'm chill. Oh, I'm chill.
No, she is not chill.
I'm allowed to call you an asshole because what you did was asshole behavior. I don't give a f that you've got a partner badge.
Bro, no one said anything about a partner badge. No one even, like... It's automatically equipped if you're partnered on Twitch. I know this myself since I have that badge too. But for some reason, she's very triggered by it.
I've been over 30 days. You play some interesting games. Trying to look in with uni. I wonder if you're, like, being a shitlord over there too.
Oh,
I wonder
wow.
if, like, you know, people are safe being around you.
So she asked...
Oh, dear God. Now we're getting to be a bit more concerning.
why the guy hasn't streamed in a while, right? Even though he has no obligation to answer that, he'd say, I'm trying to lock in for uni. And the first thing she says afterwards, right? She could have just ended it here and been like, you know what, dude? I don't agree with how you play the game, but whatever. It is what it is. See you later. No, she makes a comment about how, I hope people are safe around you. I hope you're not harassing or even being weird around people in your uni. Like, dude, where did this come from? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. Your vibes give off. Good luck with that. Yeah, good luck.
Oh, but why? Anytime anybody uses the words vibes anymore now, I get a little bit of a bit of a twitch nowadays after the whole Kingsman debacle.
Goodbye. Goodbye. I don't care if you have a partner badge. I don't care if you have a partner badge. I just...
He didn't say anything about the badge, did he?
With his friend, his so-called stuck friend, you solo queued with your friend into a game and lured me in to kill me and like put a barricade up. That is the shittiest. Going to uni. Oh, I'm a lawyer. Oh wait, no, my family member's actually a lawyer, not me.
Ooh.
Sorry.
All right, so he gets accused of being a weirdo around
That pause is devious.
people
Look at them eyes, man. They're just
IRL
really
in
going to your
college.
soul.
And then she remembers that he has a partner badge, which triggers her so much that she banned him from her chat. I mean, the messages were nothing but nice. You know, she could have just ended it right here and then by just being friendly, bantering a little bit. I mean, they're Australian, dude. Banter's in their blood, and just ending it there. So
I actually really do despise people who seem to have this imaginary conversation that they just had. She just had an entire imaginary conversation in her head with herself about what she thinks this person would say just because of their initial thoughts, and they just went into full conversation mode with themselves and think that they're just going to harass and destroy themselves. Oh my god.
seeing how unreasonable she was becoming, Nessie's friend, the guy who was pretending that he was downed, would come into the chat to also say something. He'd say, "I just got lured into a room by a guy that wanted me to help him free his friend. He trapped me and killed me. I just got this game 2 hours ago. Is it always like this?" As you can imagine, he also got instantly banned as well.
I want you to tell your little boyfriend, thank you for the engagement. I appreciate it.
What? I can't hear you!
Yeah, you can also send all the screenshots from chat as, evidence.
The reason why this is significant is because one of her mods would decide to say, all right, I'm going to go report this kid for harassment, LMAO. And mind you, when the mod says this kid, he's referring to Nessie, right? They don't care about his friend. They care about Nessie because he's the one with the partner badge. Even though everything he said has been nothing but courteous. She's saying, oh, let's get all the screenshots and report him. Report him for what? He just came in the chat and said GG. Like, what? But here's the thing. Regardless of how weird their entire interaction has been so far, things could have genuinely ended right then and there. For 99.99% of people on the internet, they would have never known this even happened.
I mean, honestly, at this point, it's not that different from most streamer rage spots. So this definitely could have gone better, honestly. But if they stopped everything now, everything would be perfectly fine. Everyone just gets upset. You're banned from this person's channel, yada, yada, yada. How bad is this going to really get?
Unfortunately, though, seeing how dead the Australian servers truly are, 2 days after this incident, they would end up getting into the same game again.
Oh,
this is
wow.
when things would truly escalate to ridiculous levels. So what happened here is that Nessie would come across Peach, right? And they would work together for a few minutes. What's interesting, though, is that Peach doesn't recognize him at all, right? She doesn't recognize anything about him. She thinks he's a random player that she encountered for the first time. Nessie, on the other hand, seeing that he's an absolute troll when he plays games like this, was planning to kill her anyway, regardless of whether he knew who she was or not. He'd eventually take out his pickaxe and start swinging. And by the time she dies, he'd realize something.
I'm just gonna hit her with a pickaxe.
Yeah, do it.
I thought we were friends.
Wow, went with a pickaxe. Didn't even pull out the pistol with all that ammo on there, too.
Bro, I was being so nice to you.
Yeah. Welcome to video games. What are you gonna do?
I think I ran into you the other day.
Oh, you're the little from the other night.
Yeah, I thought I recognized your voice.
Yeah, you're the one that was trying to flex his partner badge on Twitch. Guess
It
what?
auto-equips.
Still
It auto-equips.
I I don't care. You can turn it off, bro. It
What the heck is she doing? Why is she? Okay, it better just be because of Easter. Or
literally
something,
is
but
an
oh my
option when
God.
you're in Twitch. But also, you've been reported for harassment on multiple levels by multiple people and towards Sea of Thieves too. People know exactly who you are and what piece of shit you are for harassment for what you did. It's all recorded. It's all done. I don't care who the f you think you are, but you're done.
Wait, what did I do?
He knows exactly what he did.
So here she ended up surrendering, right? So instead of continuing the conversation, she just killed her character. But what's really
Wow.
interesting to note here is that before killing her for a second time, she had already implored her community to report him, not just on Arc Raiders, but they stalked his Twitch, saw what his primary game was, and reported him in Sea of Thieves as well for harassment.
That's stalker kind of activity there.
I mean, look, I
I'm scared of her, honestly.
think we're all not crazy. We saw what happened the first time, right? None of this was directed towards her. He was doing this to other players as well. She just so happened to come across him the first time, and he was nothing but courteous in her chat as well. What's really funny here is that there's also a comeback to the whole partner badge discourse, right? Oh, you came into my chat to flex it. Like, what? Again, it auto-equips. So by now, this went...
And like I said, she had this whole crazy conversation in her own head saying, oh, see, you came into my chat to flex your partner badge. Lady, you do not know what the heck is going on with him. He literally just said GG and that's it. Your own assuming ass is getting yourself in trouble.
from somewhat of a misunderstanding to, oh no, I'm trying to just destroy your career. I'm trying to get your main account banned, me and my community, not just from Arc Raiders, but from Sea of Thieves to your main game that you make content on. Shit was getting real.
This fucking cunt. This little piece of shit. Q sniped with his friend so they could go into a lobby and play together in solos, and pulled me into a room acting like he's found this person like glitched in the game, blocked me in there and killed me, and then tried to come into the stream about an hour later acting all tough and mighty, and I called him an asshole, and he was trying to flex that he's a Twitch partner.
Wow.
Tough and mighty. The guy came in and said, hey, good game. And again, with the flexing of the partner badge. Dude, I feel like this is her main issue right here.
It really
Who gives a
is.
shit about-
She is obsessed with the part. You know what she is? I think that she is really wanting that partner badge, and she is upset that she can't get one yet. That's what that's sounding like to me.
about a partner badge?
And I'm like, you know what? You're actually an asshole. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you think you are. And then, because I called him out on his bullshit, he proceeded to then have his little boyfriends come and like hate watch me and like say these certain messages and stream. I'm like, bro.
Again, boyfriends. He only had one boyfriend, and it was his friend. And yeah, sure, you can argue what he said was sarcastic and kind of annoying, but I mean, dude, she left a Steam comment on his profile telling him to suck a fat one. I'm pretty sure the Steam comment that she left was actually on his friend's profile, and then she reported Nessie in-game. So his friend was absolutely warranted in posting a sarcastic message like that.
I don't give a fuck who this is. Like, yeah. Anyway. I wish I killed him. But I was so like, what the hell? Like, this guy, like, being fake nice.
Welcome to Arc Raiders.
But no, he's not a guy. He's a piece of shit, is what he is.
Jesus.
He's been reported by multiple people that he's a piece of shit. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were here for this, counted?
Is this the kind of person who, like, calls it being raped whenever you're getting teabagged in Halo? I swear somebody did that before.
Like, it was all, like, it's all been screenshot, recorded, and reported to the proper channels.
The proper
I
channels?
was like, I'm not having it. Yeah. Not on my watch. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know exactly what you're doing, my guy. Absolute cock stain.
Wow.
Sorry, that's offensive to cocks. So he's the smeg that lives in cocks.
This woman is completely insane.
So there you have it, another confirmation from her that she and other members of her community had mass reported him. And of course, she would spend many minutes after the incident calling him names, insulting him, etc. But of course, that's not where things ended. 2 hours after this incident, Nessie would be in another Arc Raider streamer's chat, as he always was. What he didn't know though was that this streamer had recently played with Peach. They had collabed. Peach also happened to be in that streamer's chat, and when she saw Nessie, she would at him and say, also be careful of Nessie. He's harassed me before our games and then again tonight in-game. This would of course make the chat turn against him. How dare you harass her like this? Was someone saying, fuck you fat dog Nessie, ban that guy, you're a dog, cut. That's very Australian. God, I'm gonna have to censor so much shit in this video. But that was Nessie's new reality, all because he was unlucky enough to run into her while he was playing the game like he always did. So look, so far the only thing Nessie had done was kill her twice in a video game. Both of these instances were not targeted in any way, he just ran into her randomly. That's just the reality of how small the servers in Australia are, it is what it is. What he's gotten for this so far though has been a Steam profile comment that's inappropriate, a streamer in her community mass reporting him in both Arc Raiders and his main game Sea of Thieves, and Peach going around the Arc Raider streamer community and telling them to avoid Nessie because he is a harasser, making him out to be some sort of creep. Now again, things to an extent could have still ended there, okay? They could have somehow moved on, forgot about it, whatever. We reported him, maybe it didn't work, she can just continue living her life. But
oh, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
that's not what happened. You might have actually noticed this by the balloons that are behind Peach, but she had actually turned 31 around the time this happened. This
Oh, happy birthday!
made her friend that works at Embark Studios, the creators of Arc Raiders, to come into her chat and say happy birthday. This person, of course, wouldn't just be anyone. It would be the community lead at Embark Studios, so someone who has a hand in anything involving the community.
Uh-oh, okay, I see where this is going.
And here's how Peach would use this to her advantage to escalate this to ridiculous levels. Watch.
How are you?
Let me move over because there are chats going. Whoop, that's the screen. Whoop, whoop. There we go.
I'm gonna try my very best not to ask you an Embark question. I'm gonna do my research and I'll find an email address. I have been so excited. I wouldn't say faggot for the expedition. I'm being harassed by someone who plays this game, is a streamer, and yeah, it's a whole thing. And I was gonna ask if
The
there's
whole thing that you made up, lady.
like an email address to 25%. Oh my god! If there's an email on the website to contact about it, because I've got
Sure.
evidence and stuff. Okay. Thank you. I did not want to, like, you know, I thought I was gonna have a look.
And this poor guy just thinks he's helping out a friend. He's just taking, or she was some of the profile. She's just, completely taking her word for it over everything that's going on.
Website, but that
Because why would you think your friend would be, making things up or exaggerating things?
helps immensely. Thank you. But how are you feeling with the expedition?
So this is how she framed it to the community lead at Embark. I'm being harassed repeatedly by one player who's making my life hell. Is there anything I can do in terms of like sending it to an official email?
Wow.
What's up? To which the community lead would say, yes, send me a DM on Twitch. She had direct access to the community lead. And seeing that the community lead, unfortunately, probably doesn't watch my channel, she didn't learn the very important lesson that is, there are two sides to every story. Conducting a ban based on one person's
3 sides, actually. Their side, your side, and then the truth.
perspective is a recipe for disaster, but that's exactly what ended up happening. Nessie, who had been playing this game almost every day creating content for it, would be temporarily suspended
Wow.
for 30 days immediately afterwards.
That could definitely kill an entire content creator's career after whatever times they use to make it all. Oof.
For behavior that violates Embark's code of conduct. Without going into too many specifics, but he already knew what's up. He saw the VOD of her talking to the community lead. Because of this, he would end up creating a video that's unlisted called Message to Embark and sent it in his appeal. He would point out how most, if not all of the VODs that involved him and Peach had been deleted from Peach's channel. He would then proceed to go through everything we went through. In fact, all the clips I showed you were from his video. showing everything: their first interaction, their chat messages, the second interaction, how she tried to destroy his reputation in other streamers' chat, etc. By the end of it, he had compiled everything into a board on Microsoft Paint. On one side was him, and the worst thing he could think of where he was harassing her was just sending his friend to type his message saying, "I just got lured into a room by a guy that wanted me to help free his friend. He trapped me and killed me." On Peach's side though, we can see the Steam comment, we can see verbal abuse, we can see mass report / witch hunt, we can see chat
The scales are a little tipping in one certain direction, ain't they?
rallied against me with many mean messages, so aka ruining his reputation in other streamers' chat. So obviously it didn't make sense to ban him without banning her too. If he was going to be made into a villain, then she deserves to get some flack as well. He sent everything in the support ticket, but he didn't get a reply for
Ooh, and it's from Austin directly.
5 days. So instead he got desperate and reached out to the community lead directly through Twitch DMs. This is where he would say, "Hey Austin, I'm really sorry for reaching out this way. I believe you might recognize my name from an email you received from Peach XO. When reviewing her VODs for reasons that could have led to my ARC ban, I saw you in chat and assumed that the direct correspondence between you and Peach could have been what led to my ban. I feel horrible throwing accusations around, but there is no doubt in my mind that whatever email you received contained either outright lies or gross exaggerations. I have sent everything in my support ticket, but have received no reply in 5 whole days, and it feels very unfair to be waiting when in the instance of my interactions with Peach, it was myself who was actually harassed." He would then send the YouTube video I just showed you and then say, "This link contains a full timeline of all our interactions and shows how I was treated." This is when
Okay, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say, I don't care.
the community lead would reply with, "Hi there. I see this is an uncomfortable situation. I'd be happy to undo the ban, but I would need your assurance that any future interactions with Peach would cease. I'm happy to have the same conversation with her." Nessie would reply with, "Yes, please. All I want is this to go away. Please understand, however, that Oceania is small, and I have no idea if I run into her in-game unless one of us kills the other, and names show. I really want nothing to do with her, and if I see her in-game and somehow know it's her, I'll leave the game, or run away. Whatever you want." So look, it's important to acknowledge
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He clearly does not want anything more to do with her.
that the community lead was in an uncomfortable situation here, right? Having to deal with the ban of someone that her friend was claiming was harassing her. At the same time, though, as a community lead, you have to let go of your attachment to people and see things objectively. It's cool that she actually replied to Nessie and bothered talking to him, which eventually led to him getting unbanned early. However,
Okay.
saying things like, "I want your assurance that any future interactions with Peach would cease," is definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that really shows just how close of a friend that they really are with them.
The guy had killed her twice. That's it. There was
It seems to me that this is more of a, hey, I'm gonna let you off the mirror, but I don't think you're innocent. You just stay away from my friend kind of a thing.
no proof he was targeting her. There was no proof he wanted to kill her in particular. He was just playing the game and ran across her. That is it. But still, he was willing to be cooperative if he knew that it was her. By this point, Nessie was unbanned. Great. But the threat of Peach XO and her community was still there. They were still tarnishing his reputation, and they were still trying to mass report him from games that he played. I mean, it had worked. She had banned him for 30 days. If she found out he got unbanned, God knows what she would have done. So he decided to take the explanation video he had made to the ARC Raiders team and publish it on his YouTube channel, titling it, "Streamer Mass Reports Me After Being Trolled in ARC Raiders." It'll be uploaded on March 6th, 2026, and it would get over 10,000 views. This was him pretty much defending himself and trying to repair whatever reputation he still had left in the ARC Raiders community after the damage that Peach XO had done. In theory, it's a pretty good idea. The problem, though, was that he was dealing with Peach XO, and she was about to escalate this to unforgivable levels. Because shortly after the video would be uploaded, it would get
Are we talking, well, I want to speak to your manager kind of levels?
copyright claimed. Nessie would receive an email saying, "We received a copyright removal request for your video. Based on applicable copyright law, we've removed your video from YouTube. Content used, this is from a stream VOD from Peach's channel. Content found in entire video. Removal request issued by Peach XO. Contact info is..."
Whoa, just a full-on strike. That's a no-no on YouTube. Oh, dear good. Oh no, she's going to get eaten up by the YouTube community, folks, when they hear about that kind of stuff. YouTube people, like the actual watchers, they do not like it when content creators actually pull this stuff on each other. It is not a good practice, and it doesn't set a good example for folks. It gets really bad. At most, usually, if it's something is beefing with between content creators, it's more of a message. Hey, man, take this down. I don't like it. And usually there's some sort of a warning of alert before anything like this would actually kind of happen. This is excessive. Especially a full-on strike? That's not good.
The same email you find on Peach XO's social media. This was her. But look, a copyright removal is a very big deal, okay? It gives you a copyright strike. You get a few of those, your channel gets deleted. It's not like something you just do because you...
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Peach directly goes after any more of his videos just to do that on purpose as well.
feel like doing.
It's not like it's a hard thing to do anymore, I imagine.
This is like you genuinely messing with the law. Now, the good news is that you can counterclaim. And unless the other person actually hired a lawyer, they can't, counter again. In order
Problem is, you have to wait 90 days for it to fall off. Until then, it's still gone and the strike is still applying.
for them to counter again, they have to actually take you to court. The problem, though, is by the time you counter, many people who actually do copyright strikes have already won. They don't actually care about the video being taken down. They care about getting your personal information because that's the only way you can counterclaim. And it's been a problem on YouTube for years. This has been a tactic employed against content creators by malicious actors who seek to harm them by getting their personal info. And unfortunately, that's what Nessie had to do to counterclaim this video. He had to put in his full legal name, his street address, his phone, his city, his email, his postcode, and his country.
And what does the person who submits the copyright strike give? Nothing! It is so one-sided, and it can lead to some massive doxing situations. It is so bad.
Peach only had to supply her email address. He had to give everything. And yeah, you guessed it, the person who copyright claims a video, when they receive the counterclaim, they can see all of this. Nessie would tweet about this and say, "How cool that the person who got their chat to mass report me everywhere for killing them in Arc Raiders now has access to all this information."
Like, it is the perfect tool for stalkers. It really is.
But now you think, come on, dude, listen, okay, yeah, she's been very unreasonable. She's been very weird throughout the whole thing. She's not actually going to do anything with this, right? Like, come on. You'd really have to be crazy, right?
And then the plot thickens.
Well, it turns out that Peach truly is that crazy. Because shortly after Nessie's appeal to the copyright strike, Peach would tweet this out on her account, saying,
Oh, nice quick censorship there.
"Filing a police report on the partnered Twitch streamer who keeps harassing and stream sniping me and causing people to
What do
send
you mean by keeps?
death threats to me. I yelled at him in a game. He stream sniped me and I told him via proximity chat that I've reported him and people who witnessed his shitty behavior in game have reported him too. They told me. He thinks I mass reported him. Thanks for thinking I'm big enough to mass report though. He made a hate video about me, so naturally I reported it to the e-safety commissioner and he still won't stop, so now I'm reporting it to the police."
Is there really an e-safety commissioner? Because I always thought it was like a big old joke that there's the actual the content protection police or things like that, or the online police. But then again, there is the UK, and they literally will arrest people for whatever they put online. So,
I also copyright strike the video to YouTube as are a nightmare to talk to about harassment / bullying / death threats. She would then end this by saying, "How I love being a woman on the internet."
Oh boy, there's the victimhood stuff.
Yeah, so look, just in case you've watched this video so far and you don't have any common sense, don't worry, I got you. All of this, from start to finish, did not happen because Peach was a woman. Peach could have been an alien from Mars. She could have been like one of those fictional aliens from Star Wars, whatever you want, dude. She could have not even been from Earth. This is about her behavior. And the fact that she's making it about her gender is an injustice to anyone who's actually had to get harassed and stalked and all these things on the internet. These are real cases that deserve attention. And this case right here doesn't deserve to take any attention away from people actually struggling and suffering. I can't believe she said this with a straight face. At the same time, though,
Shoot, man, when I'm on the DVD side, you should see how bad it can get over there.
when it came to Nessie, he was back to square one. The video of his that he made to defend himself was taken down, and now he had to live with the idea, going to bed every day thinking, are the police gonna knock at my door? Things were getting very serious very quickly. He understood that he couldn't do this by himself anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised if it has happened to some people.
He needed help. So he reached out to a friend of his that also happens to be a Sea of Thieves content creator and asked him to help. And so he did. He went by the name The Bee. And on his channel, they would both upload a video titled "Streamer Wants My Friend Arrested for Killing Her in a Video Game." And within just 2 weeks, it would amass over 500,000 views. They would go over a lot of clips that
Get ratioed!
were already featured in Nessie's video. And near the end of the video, they would update everyone and telling them that yes, Peach claimed to have reported him to the police because she doxed his information through a YouTube copyright strike. How disgusting can you get as a person? At this point, it was over. Nessie's video didn't really get that much attention, but this one, this one did. The Arc Raiders community was well aware of what Peach had done now. And
Now, I am sometimes in the school of thought where no publicity, like there's no such thing as bad publicity. But it will depend on whatever the final result ends up turning out to be. Because right now, she just sounds like a crazy woman, and I'm pretty sure at this point, this kind of stuff is going to get her more views and more attention. But the question is, what's going to happen after the heat dies down? And is things going to escalate further? Are people going to stick around and watch her even after that? Is things going to get worse? It's a big question on what's going to happen after. And that's what we're going to watching to see then. And it's going to be completely dependent upon her behavior, I imagine.
it had even reached people who don't even play the game. Because you were that bothered that the person who killed you had a partner badge? Come on, man. So as you might imagine, after the Bee's video came out and everyone was well aware of her actions, she would proceed to private her Twitter account.
Well, to be fair, I imagine a lot of people went pretty aggressive on her, I would imagine. That usually is what happened when a diss track gets placed down in any case. And she probably just couldn't take it. I mean, welcome to the internet. I'm pretty sure I'm up for it pretty soon as well.
No apology, no accountability, just running away and pretending like nothing happened. She of course has not streamed since then either. This all could have been avoided multiple times throughout this entire timeline.
Okay, so for now, it seems like nothing has changed or updated from what it sounds like, and it's just mostly going radio silent. So that must mean that we're gonna be... There's gonna be something that might wind up happening in the next month or so. Maybe we will see.
She could have stopped at any given moment and moved on, but no, we had to report him to the police. When it came to Nessie though, he had finally gotten his video back up on March 26th, 2026, so almost 20 days after uploading it. The memes that have come out from this have also been pretty funny, of course. But in the end, I think what really blows my mind here is that this
I know nothing about Jujutsu Kaisen. All I know is that meme is from that.
was all done by a streamer with 2,000 followers.
That reminds me, there's a CJ Japan movie I need to watch, react towards. That'll be my next one.
Right? Someone who doesn't really have that much of a mass influence on people. One has to ask themselves, what would Peach have done in this situation if she had 10 or 100 times the followers and the viewership? Honestly, it's scary to even ask this question, but we've seen it multiple times, especially on my channel.
Well, actually, wait a minute. If it was that big of a following, all those people would have seen what happened and they would have called her out on it. At least that's what my glass half full type would have been, because the people that are currently with her are the small batch that are going to be defending her no matter what. But if you get a big audience, you will get people who will call you out. Although you will probably also have a lot of people who will be on your side as well too, but still.
Some people,
the more eyes are on something, the more people there are to tell the story.
Let the influence get to their heads, their egos become inflated beyond belief, and they end up hurting people in the process. Guys, don't play extraction shooters if you don't expect to get killed by another player, and if you do, please don't dox them and involve the police. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it. And if you want to see exclusive content, including awesome high quality drawings, as well as 2 exclusive yapping videos per month, then make sure to check out my stacked page in the description and the pinned comment. It's like Patreon, but in my opinion, better. I'll see you in the next video whenever that is, and I love you so much, platonically. Mwah.
Hopefully. Crisis, I died in the video, please help me. Oh my god. Oh, Mujin, you're a menace, sir. You're a menace. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't sound like there's been anything that's been really karmic justice too much against Peach for everything that happened yet. So, who knows? Maybe people will keep an eye on that, and maybe something will happen. Right now, all that happened is that she's kept silent, and she's going on a small hiatus. But I'm sure whenever she comes back up, somebody's going to keep an eye on her and probably bring up whatever happens, or she'll be waiting it long enough that the heat's going to die off and everyone's going to forget about this whole incident. Oh boy, this will either escalate even further, depending on whatever Peach is going to end up doing in about a week or a month's time, or everything is just going to be died down and everyone's going to forget about it. That's usually either the two sides like this will end up going. Hopefully, if the heat does die down, Nessie will just let it go and continue being on their own, and everybody will leave each other alone at best. And we try to just make whatever contents we can out of the bad situation. Anyways, I thank you all very much for watching on this. If you have any thoughts about this particular situation, please leave them in the comments. Anything you want me to react towards, please leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and please do subscribe to help me build up my community and help follow along more with anything I put up. I'll check along with y'all in the future. Y'all have a good one, and be sure to live life to the max. I'm out.